do studios hire generalists or specialists? And I don't know if there's an answer to that. I think it depends on the studio. I think it's important to know, I mean, it would be great to be amazing at everything. But honestly, it's not very likely for most of us. So when I got into the industry, what I was told was, do one thing and do it great. And so I did that one thing, which was animation, and I did it pretty good. And then my first job, I got hired, and they had me do all sorts of other stuff that I didn't know how to do. But what I learned about working as a generalist is, in a generalist studio, is that nobody's really a generalist. There are people who find their niches. So, you know, for example, there was a guy there who did lighting, and he did lighting really, really great. And if he got handed an animation shot, he would just shove it over to me. And when I would get handed a lighting shot, I would shovel it over to him. And pretty soon we all had our niches, and I just sort of thought like we were generalists on paper, but in practice we all had our specificities. So I don't know. I want to say a specialist is more valuable, but I wouldn't want to encourage anyone away from learning more skills. I think even if you are a specialist, for example, if you're an animator, I think it's important to know what everybody else needs from you. It's important to know the process of lighting. It's important to know the process of modeling. If you're animating a puppet that's been modeled and rigged, and there's a problem with it, you need to be able to communicate what that problem is and effectively communicate a solution perhaps and work with those people. And if you don't know what the process of what they do is, it doesn't make you a very effective artist. Likewise, if you're animating a shot and you don't know what the lighting is going to be, well, you might be animated in a way where the shadows are strange, or maybe some of your poses aren't as strong as they could be, because once they throw lights on it, perhaps it's a dark light, perhaps it's a light that casts a very long shadow, and it makes your pose look strange. So it's important to be able to talk with the lighting department and say, what are your expectations for my shot? How's motion blur going to affect it? Knowing what motion blur is, knowing how your spacing of your animation affects motion blur. Having an overall view of the pipeline makes you invaluable to a studio.